Hey YouTubers, got another video review for you today. This one is going to be from a company by the name of Tackform. They sell a bunch of phone mounts and things like that, and different mounts for like GoPros and just whatever you want to mount in your Jeep. They've got a mount for it, and I'm just going to show you how to install the mounting bracket that they give you in the kit, and just tell you a little bit about it. Well, I'll go ahead and say I've spent quite a bit of money already on phone mounts and stuff like that for the Jeep. And if you get ones that mount up on the windshield, it kind of creates a blind spot. The window is not very big in a Jeep anyways, and it's just kind of a hassle. Plus I noticed the one that mounts to the windshield, it just vibrates to death, and it's a real heavy duty one, and it still just vibrates really bad. But I seen this one on the Tackform website, decided to get it, and I was really surprised whenever I received it, just simply because usually you don't see anything built this sturdy as far as like a phone mount goes. Usually they try to make them as cheap as possible, but this one here, looks like it's about 1/8 of an inch of steel, and there's no way you could flex this thing. I mean, you could push it back against your chest and it flexes just a hair, but there's no way you could bend that at all. It does have some good weight to it. Now, I know what you're thinking. If it's only 1/8 of an inch thick, how could they get enough threads in there so your phone mount doesn't pull out of those threads? Well, if you come a little closer, I'll show you. You flip the mount over. Here's the top side that you'll see. But when you flip it over, you'll see that they've got these little inserts that help thicken it up and allow them to put more threads inside that, and it's actually a lot thicker. So not sure how thick that is by the time you put that insert in there, but that's quite a few threads. I can see down in there, I can count at least 4 threads. So I don't think that any of your phone accessories are going to be able to pull out of that. So looks pretty heavy built, and so I've never installed this before, hadn't even looked at it on the inside. I just glanced through the instructions, and so we're going to do this together. So first things first, let's get on the inside, check it out. All right, so you might need a trim tool, just a little plastic trim tool. You can pick these up at Harbor Freight, they're not much. Or you might be able to just reach in there with maybe a screwdriver if you're careful, so you don't scratch anything up, and just kind of pick that little lip up. Or you might just be able to reach up in there and pull it out with your hands if you got strong hands like I do. And you just pull this little stock mat out, and it just comes right out. It all just has those little rubber pieces that fit down in those holes in there to hold it in place. So it comes out fairly easy. So I'm going to set that aside. So next, you want to take out this screw right here, and then there's another one right there on that side. And they're put in at kind of an angle, and so it's kind of hard to get your head in there to look down at it, but you can feel around and loosen those up. Just takes a Phillips screwdriver. All right guys, next you're going to take the 2 bottom brackets. This is the left side, this is the right side. When you go to put them in there, they'll only fit one way because that angled part matches the angle of the Jeep there. So you just take this one here, and I'm going to drop it in place. You want to use the screw that was in there and put it back in with the new bracket. Same with this one. You're going to drop this one in, and you'll see that once they're both put in there, that these 2 little plates all come up to the very top right there. All right, so now I went ahead and tightened that screw up there, tighten the screw up there. These are all nice and firm, they're not going anywhere. Next, you want to take the plate, the mounting plate, and it only goes one way, and it's got a different curve on both sides. So you just match it up there, and then you'll notice right there you've got these recessed area where the screws fit down, and they're going to connect to those little brackets that are raised. So you just want to set it in there like that, and then you're going to go to your packet of hardware, and you're going to get these screws that have like a tapered head, so whenever you tighten them down, they'll fit into that recessed area. So I'm gonna go ahead and line it up and tighten everything up, and I'll get back with you. All right guys, so you can see that I got the 4 screws threaded in there, and you're not going to be able to get a screwdriver, a very long screwdriver in. You can get it in this first one here, but up there at the front you might have to angle your screwdriver, and it's not going to be good enough. And so normally I have just a little stubby screwdriver but I'm at my girlfriend's house, so she don't have very many tools. So you can use just a Phillips bit if you can find one of these laying around. And if you need to tighten it up a little more, you can take a 7mm socket, put it on a ratchet, put the bit in there like that, and get in there and tighten it up. You just don't want to go crazy and tighten it too much. And there you go. All right, so next I'm going to be mounting a GoPro style mount here in the center of the mount there. And the reason I'm going to put a GoPro in there is sometimes if we're doing some videos or something, we want to shoot going down the road, we can do that. Or if you want to use a GoPro as like your dash cam, or let's say you don't even have a GoPro and you want to hook a dash cam to this, you know, you can do that. They've got all kinds of adapters and plates and different stuff to make it work with what you got. Now sometimes I run, if I'm traveling or something, then we might put a radar detector on here, so it's easily adaptable with the different systems that they have and all the different attachments. So it just makes it easy. But first things first, we're going to loosen this little ball up here at the bottom, and that way we can pull it out. And then we're going to take that little ball there and we're just going to mount it right there in the center, and we're going to use these screws. They're little button head type screws, and they just mount up with those screws just like that. And then there's some all the way around. So once I got the screws started right there, I'm just going to take and tighten it up with that little bit, and I'm going to fast forward through this so you guys don't have to watch all this. All right, next you go ahead and slide the mount over that ball, and it works just like a ram mount. You know, it's movable in any direction, and you've got this little extension on here. And if you're wondering why there's an extension right there, and that's just because you don't want it adjusted way up high. But if you were trying to get up high over taking footage over the hood of the Jeep, then I guess you would want it up high. But normal, you know, just every day like a dash cam, you're going to want it probably pointed towards you, and then tighten it up, and then you're going to want to adjust this up and then mount your cam up top. And that way, you know, that rod allows you a lot of adjustment. So if you want it mounted up higher, if you want it mounted lower, you can. If you want it mounted even lower than that, you can. And you can just do infinite adjustment with this thing. And once you tighten it down, you know, that thing ain't going nowhere. I mean, it's locked onto those balls there, and that thing is stout. I mean, it's not going to move. And so, you know, it's pretty cool. You just put your GoPro on there and tighten it up. They actually give you a little wrench to tighten it up. Ain't that cool? I've never seen one before. But that's the way that works. Now we're going to go ahead and put the phone mounts on. So I think that's going to look really good, and it'll be really functional. Like I said, you know, if you don't want to put the GoPro on there, it's got like a typical camera mount. If you don't want to use the GoPro mount, it's got pretty much like that threaded bolt that comes up like a regular camera mount would. And you could mount anything to that. You know, you can make up your own bracket and tap it out and just have like a flat bracket there and mount your radar detector on top of it. And you know, I think that would look sharp too. So it's pretty much unlimited what you could put on that thing. You know, if you wanted to mount your microphone for your CB radio to it, you could do that. I'm sure they've got mounts for it. I mean, they've got anything and you can think of that you wanted to mount to this thing on their website. So next we have a magnetic mount, and these little magnet plates stick onto the back of your phone. You can even stick them inside the case if it's thin enough, and you know, it'll stick to that magnet right there. So you can see how strong those are. You can hear it smack. And it's a really strong magnet. You can see it tore the bag open. That's how strong it is. But it pulled the magnet right out of the bag. But I mean, it's got quite a bit of force to it, and it does have a nice soft protective cover over top of it, like a little rubber cover, so it ain't gonna scratch your phone case up or your phone, whatever. But you know, again, this one's highly adjustable. It's got that little ram mount where you can adjust it wherever you want it, and then there's one right here on this side, so you can adjust this any which way you want it. And then, you know, it's going to stick out away from the dash a little ways. And so I do like that. And it puts it right there where you need to see it. That way you're not looking off to the side at your phone mount and taking your eyes off the road. You're looking straight ahead, you know, but it puts your phone at a good location. You'll see here in a minute once I get it all mounted and everything. As you guys can see, we went ahead and got the magnetic mount already locked in place there with those 4 screws, and that thing is solid. And one thing I want to go ahead and point out is, let's say you've got multiple people riding in your vehicle and you need extra metal pieces, or you know, even different sizes. They've got the circle ones like I just showed you, then they've got the square ones, whichever fits on your cover or behind your cover, whichever. And it's got that 3M tape. So you got 2 rectangle, 2 round ones. And so I just wanted to show you just how strong they are. You can see we went ahead and put the clear case on the phone and put that mount, that little piece of metal there. And this is a Z Fold 2. So this thing is a huge phone. I mean, gosh, it's almost the size of an iPad, but it's really thick. It's really the weight of 2 phones. And so I just wanted to show you. You can see that that thing is not going anywhere. I mean, seriously, you let go of it, it's not moving. And you know, you can ride down the road with that and I ain't gonna worry about it falling off. So if it's able to hold up 2 phones, and you know, you can feel it when it goes to pulls it right out of your hand. So it's got a really strong magnet in there. So wish we'd have just did this instead of wasting money on all the other cheap phone mounts that we've been through, and it's just a waste of money. So I'm gonna go ahead and mount the Tomahawk one for the other side, and I'll come back and show you how that one looks and how it mounts as well. All right, so I told you that there's a Tomahawk mount, and it's this one here. And what it is basically an expandable mount, so you can fit a lot of different size phones in it. No, the Z Fold 2 probably won't fit in here because the phone's really thick, but you know, any of your other big phones, I think this thing would probably fit up even like a Note or something like that. I mean, that thing's, it's pretty wide. It's got all the dimensions for it on their website. You can check it out. It tells you what all size phones that it fits. Plus, right in here, they've got these little rubber pieces hooked onto the side of the mount, and that way it just grips your phone. Now, if you're wondering, this is all metal. That's metal right in there, and it's not plastic. You can see that's all metal right in there. And the springs, you know, it feels like they've got good tension on them, so your phone shouldn't slide out of there. We're gonna put that Z Fold in there just to show you. Actually it will. The way that it sets in the case there, it will fit. My girlfriend just passed it to me. We didn't think that it would fit, but it does. I mean, gosh, it fits in there perfect with this particular case. I don't know if it would fit in there with some other cases, but you know, that's pretty impressive. I mean, you can see how thick that Z Fold 2 is, and we've got that clear case, and it fits. You can see that it grips it perfect on each side. Now, would you put a thicker case on there with this phone? No, because it would be above that little area right there where it curves over to grip it, and it might fall out. So I don't want nobody to damage their phone. These things are expensive. But anyways, that's pretty cool. Let me go ahead and get it mounted up here, and we'll play around with it and see how it works. All right, guys. Well, as you can see, check that out. That mount looks really good. And you can position that thing wherever you want it and just loosen it up. And then again, like I said, this thing's got that Z Fold 3 in there, and man, or Z Fold 2, I'm sorry. But this thing's fit in there really tight and doesn't seem like it's going to go anywhere. As far as like the adjustability, we've got it adjusted where we like it, and we've got our camera mount sitting here where we like it. And you know, we'll play around with it once we get a camera, a radar detector, whatever we're going to run in here, and you know, we get it all adjusted out. Now, as far as this side here, you know, we can loosen this up and move it over towards the passenger, put your phone on there, and then tighten it back up. And you know, once you get it tightened down, man, that thing ain't going nowhere. I mean, this whole mount is solid, man. I gotta say, I'm really impressed how solid it is. You know, we've been using that phone mount right here, and I'll go ahead and tell you, it's solid. I mean, it really is solid, but you know, it vibrates going down the road. and it'll drive you crazy. So this thing here, I believe it's going to do the trick. You know, you can comment, you know, on my video and ask me if it's doing good, and I'll let you know if I'm pleased with it. If I get enough comments on it, then, you know, I might make a follow-up video on it. But you know, gotta say, I'm very impressed with all the Tackform stuff. And, you know, this is not a company that I'd really ever heard of before, and I just happened to see that they made a mount for the Gladiator, and, you know, they got all different types of mounts for anything you can imagine. So very, very pleased with it. Don't think you'll find a stronger phone mount out there for this many devices. And, you know, it keeps it out of your windshield area, so you don't have any blind spots. Now right here with this mount, with your phone right in there, it blocks that whole area, so you've got a blind spot over there on that side. And so, you know, it's kind of aggravating. With this, it's kind of, you know, tucked down low, and I've got this one just stuck up high just right now, but, you know, I'm going to move it down even lower so that way it won't be up in our field of view. So one last thing I wanted to tell you is, let's say you wanted to put this GoPro mount over here. All you gotta do is just loosen this up, and it comes off that ball, and you can just move it over here. It literally takes just a minute or two, and then, you know, you put it back on where you want it and tighten it up. So, you know, all you gotta do is just loosen that up. Like I said, you know, it just pops off that ball, and these little thumb screws are easy to adjust. Now, one thing you want to make sure of is that you know, don't unscrew it too much, and you'll have 2 or 3 pieces fall out in your hand. But, you know, you can see that, you know, that's how it's mounted to the other end. And I gotta say, these ends right here, these are actually metal. Now the part that's tightening up, that's plastic, but everything else, I believe, is metal. Now the adjustment collar right there, I believe that's probably, now that's metal too, I believe. But you know, it's really strong. I don't think you'll ever break this, guys. I mean, really, this thing is definitely Jeep rated. And also, you know, this one, you see how this one's short? It's not as long as the GoPro mount. They've got like an extension right there built into it. And then on the Tomahawk mount, you see there's like an extension built in. Well, if you don't want that GoPro mount very long, you can just take it loose and switch these out, and switch them from one to the other. I mean, this is infinite adjustment on this thing. So, I mean, that's pretty handy. I mean, I don't see any other mounts where you can adjust it this much, get it right where you want it, and have all these different extensions and all that kind of stuff. So, it's pretty cool. All right, guys. Gotta say, really happy with this mounting system. I mean, that thing's sturdy. I can't believe how sturdy it is. I mean, seriously, when you go down the road, it's nowhere near like this one here. When you're going down the road, you would think that as strong as this one is, that it wouldn't be as shaky as it is. I mean, because let me tighten it back up. You can see that it's dual braced and everything, but for some reason it just doesn't quit shaking, and so it's very annoying. So I'm very thrilled to have these. It makes a world of difference when you can have your phone right here, and you can look ahead and not have to look over to the side and have a blind spot right here. So that's pretty cool to have everything right where you want it. So anyways, appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you like and subscribe to my channel. If you got any comments, put it down below. Like I said, if you know, if you're interested how I like them, just put a comment down below, and I'll answer you. I try to answer everybody's comments on my videos and stuff. And this is not a paid review. I don't want nobody to say, hey, this guy's getting paid by this company to get on here and, you know, tell how good it is. No, it's just my documenting my Jeep, me doing my own mods and stuff to it. And I like doing this. This is my hobby. So you guys play golf, you know, I like making YouTube videos. So appreciate you guys watching. Have a good one. Out of here.